Gary Cooper was one of the most ubiquitous stars in Hollywood. He was a highly sought-after actor who appeared in dozens of hit films. He was known for his understated, strong, and silent acting style. He won 2 Academy Awards for Best Actor in addition to 3 other nominations. And in 1961, he received an Honorary Academy Award for his career achievements. But even though he was one of the most prolific and celebrated actors of his time, his personal life was riddled with scandal and controversy. Join FactsVerse as we take a closer look at both the professional and private life of Gary Cooper and how he ultimately redeemed himself from his philandering ways. Gary Cooper's early years and rise to fame. Born Frank James Cooper on May 7, 1901, in Helena, Montana, Gary was the youngest of 2 sons from English parents Alice and Charles Henry Cooper. His older brother Arthur was 6 years older than him. Gary's father hailed from Houghton Regis, Bedfordshire, and was a prominent rancher, lawyer, and Montana Supreme Court justice. His mother, who came from Gillingham, Kent, married Charles shortly after moving to Montana in 1906. Gary's father owned an enormous 600-acre cattle ranch called 7 Bar 9, approximately 50 miles north of Helena, near the small town of Craig, Montana. It was there he and his brother spent their summers while learning how to hunt, fish, and ride horses. Gary's mother wanted her sons to have a proper English education, so she shipped them off to England in 1909 to study at Dunstable Grammar School in Bedfordshire. While he was enrolled there, Gary and his brother lived with their father's cousins, Emily and William Barton. While he got high marks, Gary never quite got used to the rigid class structure and stuffy uniforms he had to wear. In 1912, Gary and Arthur returned to the U.S. and continued their education at Johnson Grammar School in Helena. At age 15, Gary injured his hip in a car crash. This left him with a distinctive stiff, off-balanced stride and an angled horse-riding style. In 1919, Gary's father had him transferred to Gallatin County High School in Bozeman, Montana, where he discovered his love for debating and dramatics. While attending Montana Agricultural College in Bozeman, Gary developed his interest in art before continuing his education at Grinnell College in Iowa. In 1924, Gary's father left the Montana Supreme Court and moved his family to L.A. There, Gary found work as a film extra and stunt rider in low-budget westerns. It was then that Cooper gave up his birth name and adopted his stage name after his agent advised him against using the name Frank. Hey, if you're enjoying this video so far, be sure to give it a like and subscribe to FactsVerse if you haven't already. And stick around for more about Gary Cooper's many romantic flings. Gary Cooper's many love interests. Gary scored his first big breakthrough role in 1926, cast as one of the male lead roles in The Winning of Barbara Worth, after the actor the studio intended to use failed to show up for work. From there, Gary landed role after role, portraying romantic heroes in films like Wings and The Wolf Song. Clara Bow, an actress who was the epitome of the Hollywood it girl at the time, was so infatuated by Gary, she insisted on him appearing with her in one of her films. But after getting close with Bow on and off set, Gary's notorious proclivity for being a womanizer got its start. Evidently, Gary couldn't control himself when he was around beautiful women, and he always knew what to say to woo them. It didn't hurt he was constantly being cast as the protagonist in films that starred some of Hollywood's most distinguished leading ladies. Practically everyone Gary set his eyes on would say yes to his advances. This would sometimes land him into somewhat problematic situations. Gary routinely saw more than one woman at a time. Pretty much every time he had a new female co-star, he would wind up getting her in his bedroom. But that didn't mean he stopped seeing the other women he was sleeping with. This pattern eventually landed him into some hot water, particularly after he met an actress named Lupe Velez. Gary and Lupe met on the set of The Wolf Song. Quickly, their on-screen romance evolved into a behind-the-scenes fling. As their relationship was blooming, Gary started appearing in talkies, which led to him finding more success in the industry. One film in particular, The Virginian, transformed him into a superstar. The movie was a massive hit and cemented Gary's image as a volatile yet romantic honorable hero. From there, it was off to the races for Cooper, who proceeded to land leading role after leading role. While dating Lupe Velez, who was known for throwing intense fits of jealousy, Cooper had brief affairs with his Morocco co-star Marlene Dietrich and Carole Lombard. whom he co-starred with in 1931's I Take This Woman. It's also rumored Gary was sleeping with male actor Anderson Lawler. Velez once told a biographer that when Gary would come home after seeing Lawler, she would sniff for Lawler's cologne. Not only could Gary not remain faithful to Velez, but his mother also despised her. She thought of her as tasteless and low class. Gary and Lupe were also prone to getting in fights over his wandering eye. On one occasion, Velez stabbed Gary with a kitchen knife during an argument. She later tried to shoot Cooper when he was attempting to board a train. After breaking things off with Velez, Gary married a 20-year-old New York debutante named Veronica Balfe in 1933. He remained faithful to his wife until 1942, when he started having an affair with Ingrid Bergman during the filming of For Whom the Bell Tolls. After starring in 1948's The Fountainhead, Cooper had an affair with co-star Patricia Neal. At first, they tried to keep their affair a secret, but eventually Gary's wife confronted him about the rumors. After admitting to cheating, the two separated in 1951. During their separation, Gary reportedly had affairs with Giselle Pascal, Lorraine Chanel, and Grace Kelly. Gary Cooper eventually found spirituality. After years of personal turmoil, Gary had a spiritual conversion of sorts. While some would speculate he only found religion as a result of illness, his daughter, Mario Cooper Janis, whom he had with wife Veronica Balfe, denied these rumors, asserting Cooper instead found his sense of spirituality more organically on his own, while contemplating existential matters pertaining to life and mortality. Gary eventually got back together with Veronica after a 3-year break. After accompanying her and his daughter, who were devout Catholics, to the Vatican to have an audience with Pope Pius XII, Cooper and Balfe began the process of reconciliation. Once he came back to her, he started going to church with her and Maria. In time, Father Harold Ford, the priest at the church they attended, finally got through to Cooper, who had taken an interest in the message he delivered from the pulpit. After having Father Ford over for dinner, Gary discovered they had a lot in common. For one thing, the two shared a mutual interest in firearms. They also both loved scuba diving. Gary and Ford then started going on regular diving expeditions together, and slowly but surely, their conversations began drifting towards religion. Pretty soon, Gary realized, as he put it, that a little religion would probably do him good. After several months of religious studies, on April 9, 1959, Gary Cooper was formally admitted into the Catholic Church. A year later, he underwent surgery for an aggressive form of prostate cancer that had spread to his colon. He battled cancer for the next year or so, but it soon became evident he was losing the fight. But Gary took it in stride. He considered what was happening to him as being God's will, and publicly remarked he wasn't afraid of the future when giving his final public statement in 1961. On May 12th that year, he received his last rites and passed away the following day. Now it's time to hear from you. What's your favorite role of Gary Cooper? Let us know in the comments section below. And before you go, make sure you give this video a like and subscribe to Facts Verse if you haven't already. Click the bell icon to stay updated on all our latest content.